What determines the resilience of a system? Biodiversity. And that shouldn't come as a surprise to an economist, because we know that if we have a diverse portfolio, we're reducing the risk. Same is true with an ecosystem. If we have many species, they will, in general, be able to adopt to reduce the impact of the disturbance. However, the biodiversity is rapidly going down. It's been calculated that the speed of reduction in biodiversity is now higher than it was during the Permian destruction of life, which was a major destruction. It almost killed off all life forms. And we are right now having the same speed as during the Permian catastrophe. And that implies that resilience is going down very fast. And we're much, much more vulnerable to changes in the ecosystems. Ecosystems are then an economic factor, can be looked upon as an economic factor, generating products. And these services are, to some extent, captured in our SNA, Standard National Accounts. At least for those services that are connected to final demand. If the final demand is fish harvest, then we know that fish harvests are accounted for in the accounting system. And as a result, the net value of the harvest, that is the value of the harvest minus the cost, is what the national accountants call the operating surplus. And that operating surplus has conventionally been identified as return on man-made capital, machines, buildings, etc. But for fishery, it's the regulating or intermediate services that are a major factor behind the operating surplus. The problem is, of course, we have not explicit accounting for everything in the system, but they are, to some extent, included in our standard national accounts. However, what we really want to know, if we're looking for sustainable development, that's how the economy will develop over time. And therefore we need to know changes in the stocks in the ecosystems. And the present system of national accounts does not include anything of that. We need, therefore, a new accounting framework. We have to focus on capital stocks. Professor Skutla and I published an article 10 years ago. We showed that it's possible to associate accounting prices, which, by the way, was more or less guessed in the UNIDA guidelines on project evaluation in the beginning of the 70s. But there were no theoretical underpinnings then. And if you use those accounting prices, then we know that change in human welfare over time is equal to the value of change in all stocks affecting human well-being today and in the future. So therefore we need to formulate an accounting framework based on stocks, including ecosystem capital stocks, and estimate the accounting price for these. Work on this is going on, but we're far from getting a complete picture on this. So I welcome everyone who is interested in that to start up the project. However, as I said, we have to know the dynamics of the ecosystems. And in order to know the dynamics of ecosystems, we need the cooperation with ecologists, hydrologists, and other natural scientists. For some reasons, we economists have not the courage to cooperate with natural scientists, with ecologists. And most of us do not do that. I was fortunate to become the director of the Bayer Institute with the explicit objective to get ecologists and economists coming together and work together on real important problems. And that has been something which I have been so happy for, because it really shows the world in a different perspective. So I recommend you to have natural scientists around you. And fortunately, Priya has, in her work with SANDEE, included natural scientists now and then when needed. But this brings about the final point I would want to make in this presentation. That's the education of environmental and resource economists. As I said, environmental and resource economists are seldom confronted with their counterparts in natural sciences. In many universities, there is no connection between natural science and economics. In one university, I will not mention its name, but it's up north in Sweden, there's no connection. The economists don't care about what the ecologists mean. There's no communication. On the other hand, in Gothenburg, Thomas Sterner has opened up cooperation between natural scientists and economists. And I think that's absolutely essential.